everybody. Welcome to Inneressence. I'm so happy to have you here. Thank you so much for sharing this space with me and my guests, Janine and Chantal. Inneressence was brought about or born because I was just trying to discover my inner essence, because I've realized we've been sheep all our lives. We've never been taught to live our true essence. What we were born with is not where we are at the moment. And it's not because of purposeful ignorance, is because you only discover this as you get older. So I hope that we can reach a lot of young people now to realize that they can actually find the inner essence from a very young age. So hopefully we'll be the conduit in terms of that. And yes, and my journey started with trauma, obviously. So I try to find out how to heal myself without using depressants, antidepressants and whatever, because I don't believe in chemicals. I don't even take headache tablets. So this was really important for me, because I knew within my instincts and my intuition, we have so much power within us. And I realized this with the breath work. And from that, with my throat chakra being so blocked, I realized I'm not living my authentic self. And with that, I then delved in deeper, and then I met people like Chantal, and now I've met this beautiful person, Janine, all the way from Holland, South African, living in Holland. And Chantal is a very close friend of mine, and I met her through discovering the natural sources of our beings, our magical beings. I think that's what I'd like to say. So yes, welcome Janine, all the way from Holland. Please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello, everybody. It's so good to just finally be here. So thank you for setting this up, Renee and Chantal, and for bringing the lights of our hearts together, because the light inside of us creates miracles in our lives. So I came to a Vibrational You, which is the beautiful project I've undertaken now in Holland. I came through this because in the past 24 years of my life, I've been dabbling in and out of the business, marketing, and then the esoteric world. And a lot of the times when I was in my journeys, I would go through traumatic things. And I would always find myself in a specific space and place where I had to go deeper than what was seen on the surface. So I had a few traumas, one including my father's passing in 2020, which really escalated the Vibrational You. And in the COVID lockdowns, I was really going within, and I'd known about chakras for many years and have been working with them. But through this death, through this finality, I had to explore and open up this more. And so I really dived into the chakras. And through that, I offer massages, which are intuitive. I use color oils. I work with very much about the chakras and the oils and the colors. I've created crystal bracelets and necklaces to wear as parts of your healing. I also offer a beautiful modality. It's a movement healing modality called chakra dance. So I offer this class live, and I also do e-courses to help you to connect a little bit more, because it was only when I started to dance my chakras that I actually became aware of the energetic volumes that these beautiful portals bring into our lives of understanding and insight and information. So I offer that at the moment for kids as well, because I would like to offer this to the younger generation so that they can start opening up to the idea of learning about this energetic state of chakras. And the Vibrational You is really about realizing that that's where the magic exists inside each of us. That's where the magic exists. So getting to know yourself through the chakras, this beautiful roadmap, is amazing and awesome. And that's been my journey.
So thank you. So we've got on the same mission, teach the youngsters how to discover and use it well. Thank you so much, Janine. But now, I mean, chakras, how can we explain chakras, and how was it discovered, or who discovered it? Do you know that? Do you know the history?
Well, it's an ancient philosophy from the Indians or from the Eastern cultures, where they believe in the energetic system. So it's also the Asian population who believe in this energetic system and say we have 114 chakras, and 112 of them exist within our energetic field, and 2 of them just on the outside of the energetic field. And in that, we have 7 main chakras that run along the spinal column in the colors of the rainbow. And that's what we concentrate on. These are the 7 main portals of information centers for us. So it's about dated 5,000 years back that this has come into play. A lot of the times people from the word chakra because it sounds very woohoo and hoo-hoo. Nowadays, it's becoming more of an understanding and insight. But back in the day, not many people, and even myself, felt this sort of resistance to this disconnection. But a chakra is a color wheel. So it's literally where two energy points along your body meet. So you have three channels of energy running up your body. You have the Shushumna, which is in the middle, and then you have Ida and Pingala. And Ida and Pingala wind around your spinal column. As it does that, each time it comes into that center point, you have a chakra, which is in the rainbow colors, because colors have energy vibrations. We are light beings. And so this is a really good understanding of the chakras, is to know that this is simple because it's all fundamentally things you're already doing with your life. It's just to bring awareness to them and start to learn, what physical elements are my chakras showing me now? What mental elements? What imbalances in my emotions? And then you can work with the colors, and you can work with the remedies that go along: sound, meditations, visualizations, chanting, yoga, all these delicious things that are right at your reach. Crystals, oils. I've created a beautiful selection of color oils so that people can bring the chakras to them practically in a fun way, because it's not a serious thing. It's an actual magical carpet ride, in my opinion, of discovering your own self.
Oh, I love it. Really, thank you. And Chantal, you know, we realize that we have blocks now and again. How do you identify your blocks? And
well, you'll always, the most important thing is to make sure you're tuned in and you're actually paying attention to what's going on in your body, mind, and your soul. I think very often, you know, people come and they'll talk about the restriction in their throat, or they have a lot of anxiety in their stomach, or they're constantly feeling ungrounded. And there, if you know your chakra system and you know what each system, which each chakra governs, you're able to help with those kind of things. So, like Janine says, I use Janine's oils all the way in South Africa, and her sprays. It's an incredible, it's one of the most beautiful and quick tools that I've been able to use to help my people balance. And obviously also when you're doing a session, you're doing Reiki, and you've got to learn how to feel an energy field. Very often you feel a kind of a dip, almost like a pothole, you know, that's South African word, a pothole, or a cold or a heat. You feel a different sensation. So we do sense that by feeling the energy field, but then also a lot of it is through understanding how the person is actually battling, what area they're battling with. And from there, if you know your system, you know which area to focus in and bring back into balance. Again, using the sound, oils, crystals. There's so many different ways, so many different things.
But now between you and Janine, you can maybe between you and Janine, you can answer this question. How long does it take to clear a chakra? So if you know that, say like mine, for example, I've got the throat and I want to clear it. Have you got any experience, or do people shift quickly, or can it take a year, or how does it go? What is the process to get through clearing your chakras?
Do you know what the delightful thing and the delightful insight I would like to share on that is that there isn't, and this is where we as humans with our egos try and put a capsulation on it. But the minute you work with one chakra, you are moving the energies, because it's moving. It's not still, it's not stagnant. And so a lot of the times we aim to fix this chakra and have it in a space of balance all the time. But it's like this puzzle that keeps moving. And as you're clearing out the throat, so something's healing something's moving in the third eye, something's going again. So it's such a collective experience that there isn't a time frame. And I find a lot of the times I'm just balancing as I intuitively feel. So today the soul is in a bit of imbalance. Couple of things with the oils, the yellow oils, wearing the color yellow, eating some yellow food, some mango, some pineapple, putting some beautiful energy of solar into my system. So all the acts that each chakra has gives you the opportunity to understand the balancing and the healing. And so you do also some fire breathing that can also stimulate that. But then the next day I wake up and the heart's kaput. And then I'm like, okay, so now today I've moved energy here. So now it's here where it's showing me. But this takes awareness. It takes staying in the present moment. And it takes not thinking and getting involved in the past and holding on to it and not anticipating what your future is, but just staying in that gift of the present, because that's where all of the answers are. And for you to actually connect deeper with yourself and then work with the different energies. And then say to yourself that there isn't a time period. It's going to flow as it flows, baby. It's going to flow as it flows.
Very
Without
often,
preference and without holding.
exactly, and just let it be. So you and I, well, we are more aware of our chakra system, so we can recognize what's going on. But very often, and I know that you've got beautiful things on your website, which Renee will let you know at the end, so people can go and have a look. If they don't really know where to start, or generally what it is they feel like all their chakras are out of balance, everything is, I then suggest that they start at the base. Start at the base. That is your vitality. That is, I am alive. I am grounded. Ground yourself first. It's like building your foundation. And from there, once you feel, and sometimes I tell people, just take a week. Just dive into that particular chakra a week at a time. You can do a 7 or 8 week system. But on that first week, focus in on the base. Do all the things that make you feel grounded. Eat grounding foods, things from the earth. Things that have roots down deep. So like your turnips and your potatoes and your carrots and that kind of thing. And from there, you can basically move up a week at a time, working on, and as Janine says, very soon, you'll find your bigger blockage is released and then it just goes. Yeah, so it's nice to have that freedom if you know, but it's also if you need a little bit of structure, start at the base and work your way up. Even if it's a day at a time, you can take a week to work through the entire chakra system.
Yes. I think last time you was a Jew that sent through that untapped chakra, saying a very important thing as well is we all live in the future and in our past. And the key essence, I believe as well, which covers a bit what you're saying now, is to live in the present and not the past and not the future. And we do. I don't know why we do it. I still don't understand. And maybe there's the personas, maybe it's the ego. I'm not quite sure, but we all got our reasons for it. So I think that's also very important with the grounding and living in the present and also being aware. I think a lot of us don't realize how unaware we are because people will drive and they won't even notice that it's snowing, for example, or a beautiful plant or a tiny little plant this big. It's just being able to appreciate what's
there's no noticing. There's no witnessing. It's just doing.
They just exist on life. And then now it's time to
let
it all out and just enjoy the magic within ourselves.
But as you say, we get into that habit of being disconnected and being distracted. I'm a big fan of visual reminders. So I'll tell like ladies if they paint their nails, paint a stripe or something different on one of your nails, or draw a little symbol. I sometimes, if I know I'm battling with something, I'll draw with a pen on just something to remind me, or wear a piece of jewelry or buy something specific. And when you catch a glimpse of that, that's your visual reminder to pull yourself back into the present moment and just be tuned in and be present. And once you do that a couple of times, it really does become very easy. You become quite good at being present and living in awe.
Yes, you do. It's practice. It's practice. That's what it is. And a lot of us get tired of it because it's effort that we have to put in, but we're putting our energies into the wrong efforts. And just to go back what Chantal was saying about where do you start in the chakras, it's always important to start at the base because that is the first level entry into this physical body as a spiritual being, connecting to the earth. The element of the chakra is earth. It's where you anchor, where your roots come from, where your primal ancestors, your tribe, your soul ascendants, all of these connect in this. And that's where you feel safe, where you have a foundation. It's the support. So literally, if you can think of this, that you're building on this foundation, your house of rainbows. And so to understand that if this is solid, the rest will always falter and waver and not be in a good balanced way. I don't know if there is anybody at one point, maybe a millisecond, has an awesome balance of all the chakras, but it's really why we're here, to understand ourselves better. I see it that we've been given this beautiful roadmap. It's like this treasure hunt for you to go through this journey. And in the chakras, there's developmental stages. So you will find from the ages of 1 to 7, that is where your base chakra, your root, was solidified and developed. And so from there, you can already start to tap in to see, did I have a good grounding? Was I feeling safe? Do I have enough money? Do my parents, are they poverty stricken? Is that what I'm carrying? Is that what I'm associating with this? Or am I living in fear and adrenaline? Or am I secure, solid, safe, plenty money, no problem? So it all depends in that space. And when you start from there, the rest can have the ease to move and heal and shift. So
I'm very lucky at the moment because I turned 50, and with 50, you then have completed your 7 times 7 cycles. And that's something also, I think they'll look on your website and see some beautiful information. We go through 7, and once you've done 7 times, I have now gone back at 50 into my root chakra. It's the first time ever that I've been able to really, really choose about my grounding, my base, my foundation, because I'm in control of it now. You know, the first time you're still a baby, you know, you're at the next time it comes around, you don't even know, you don't care, you're having a party, you're not worried about this beautiful rainbow inside you. So turning 50, I was very serious. I'm working hugely this year with my base. And it's quite incredible actually, because it's also your manifestation. And it's almost like I grew up, because
it's also bringing up those shadows again. It's bringing up those shadows again in that childhood period of 1 to 7, and understanding that it's okay at 50 now to look at this and understand it from a higher perspective, and understand it from the journey through the rest of the chakras, so that you get to this point of now letting that go, because shadow is important. You cannot see the light without the shadow. And so it is important to accept that and not resist it. So many of us want to say, oh, I'm spiritual and I'm enlightened and I'm a light being, so I can't get angry, I can't get scared, I shouldn't be fearful. But it's impossible. It's impossible to be in that state. It's truly not what we are here to accomplish and go through. And I just think it's important to realize, because I'm in crown chakra now, and it's all about faith, and it's all about connecting to source and spirit, and understanding there's angelic realm around me, that there's a higher power than what the physical mind and the physical ego can accomplish in this life. So for me, it's a really important ascension. And so that's cool, because now you can start to look at what age am I, and what chakra am I developing at the moment, and what are the aspects for that, and what are the foods to eat, and what are the healing remedies, and what is the... So you can really start to unravel this beautiful discovery within yourself, and just get tips from the outside world as to what the important information is to know. And from there, you can start to say, oh, I'm noticing today that I'm feeling anxious. All right, so I'm not in my body, I'm in my mind. Let me go for a walk. That's the red chakras kind of meditational practice, is going for a nice walk into nature, putting my feet in the ground, feeling the earth. So there's these things that people can learn in order to discover, but they're not intellectual, and they're not far out of reach. They're here in your house. Go and look, you'll see.
Do you think it's intuition?
Have of shirts? What colors do you have of
it's
foods?
So it's basically intuition. So I think maybe one of our channels we should cover
we'll definitely go
and really delve in and how to understand or listen to our intuition, because we don't always listen to it. And I think part of that is your intuition is your connection with the divine. And
that's, you said earlier, and so did you, Janine, about how important it is to get the kids to understand this. And I think that's where, although my journey into this realm of things happened many years before, you do your Reiki and you do all of that and you learn about your chakras. But I think it's when I had kids and I understood that I now had these time frames that I could harness their potential energy at their time. So I knew, when they're working with certain things, and when tummy aches were very much, and that's your anxiety, it's your solar plexus. So we were able to, I definitely dove more into it with the kids. Awesome. And they, with the results, have also become a lot more intuitive. I think when Eden was very small, she used to say things like, oh, Mom, my indigo is sore, my yellow is, and then I'd know it's her yellow, it's her tummy, it's her anxiety. But they grow out of that, they become teenagers, But and the point is, I know that they know because they still incorporate certain things. I know recently somebody had a sore throat and they went into your beautiful oils and they pulled out the expression oil and put it on. And so, I mean, what I'm trying to say is that it's really important, as both of you have said, teach the kids young, teach them so that by the time they are on their own and independent, they can just intuitively they know this already. It's not something new or unusual.
Yeah.
What did you want to say, Janine?
I just wanted to comment on that, because when I actually started doing chakra dance, it was the adults version, and it was fantastically healing for myself. But I could see how difficult it was to help adults at that point also overcome these shadows, because it's all collectively up over the years. But when I did the Chakra Kids module, I was just blown away, because the understanding I got of the chakras from the kids' perspective, because we read stories about each chakra, was mind-blowing. Like, I just thought, this is it. This is the understanding of the red, without the big words, without the intellectualization of it, just the simplicity of it. And so I'm working with my niece and my nephew and a few other kids, and really feeling the understanding that if you can teach them now to practice, because I've just finished a course on intuition, and intuition is practice.
Yeah.
You have to keep asking yourself, how do I feel in this point? Not how am I thinking I should feel? How do I feel right now? What is my body saying? Is it happy? Is it nervous? Is it anxious? Is it joyful? These are the indicators that your spirit tells you this is the path to take. So the ego is thoughts. So thoughts are always ego. And when you feel, and I'm not talking about emotion. Emotion is different. I'm talking about feeling. How does my body feel? Do the hairs on my arms raise up? Do I get ringing in my ears? Do I notice something? But you really then have to be present, because otherwise you're going to miss it.
Exactly.
And the kids are present. The kids are present. Every day they live, it's about now. It's not about yesterday or tomorrow. For them, all that exists is now.
Yeah, I think that's such a
so
key
let's
thing.
fill the now with
because we definitely need to take it with the kids and try and get it into them.
Yeah.
But I think
well, they've been bombarded with technology, so we have to get in there somehow. We have to overcome the technological addiction most kids have been born with, because it's an era of energy they've been born into. So it's very abnormal for them to say, no, TV time? Are you nuts? For us, it was like, get out and play in the garden. Make your own games up.
And you know, when my kids when they were younger, were such bubbly, happy children. And now my son is stuck still. I cannot get him off his computer. And he's just slowly gone into this abyss in his own little world. He's become antisocial. I believe he's become depressed, and he doesn't realize it. And so it is. It's just like trying to tell them, just have a balance, try and learn your boundaries and what you're interested in. And I haven't been able to master is how to see people's auras. Can you see people's auras? Is that from your chakras that are glowing out, or what is auras?
There's a couple of different things, if I can answer that, Chantal. I just know what I've been learning within this realm of intuition is that there's different ways people see and feel their intuition. So we talk about mediums, and we talk about people that can see the future. Well, I talk about mediums where they can sort of bring in information from source. And that's stuff I've been also working on, because I don't want it to be seen as that I'm predicting the future, but it's a really important thing to connect with how you see it. How you express it. Do you feel it? Do you see it? Do you hear it? Do you taste it? Do you smell it? So we all have different gifts in how we can express this. You can do all of it, but also a lot of people will see visions. They will feel things inside of them that give them that. So when I'm working on people, I can feel yellow. I can feel red. Maybe it's more clairsentient, because I have a very strong affiliation with touch therapy and connection. That's what I wanted to say to you guys. Connection. Your kids behind the screens have no physical human connection. That's why they're down. That's why they're depressed. Because when we do this, and we talk and we engage, we create that. We create love. Computer screen doesn't.
No, not so much. Although my kids are the thing, there's an app for that. There's an app for everything. I a couple of years ago, I know that Layla, my eldest, was really stressed out. It was at that time of her life, and I was trying to get her to meditate for years and years and years. And then one day she said, "Okay, night, Mom. Nobody disturbed me. I'm going to meditate." And I thought, oh God, and I had to ask her, like, why finally now? I've been teaching all your life. She goes, no, there's an app for that. So it is literally their phones. There is the good in that, and they do that. So what we need to do, instead of saying get off your phone, we need to create an app. Let's do it, a chakra app, an app where people can work. If we're going to go for the kids, we might as well go in the way that they get what we need.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's what I was
So
saying.
there you
We're
go.
fighting a big fight when it comes to kids.
Yeah.
And
You've got
what,
to
we
get
can
in
all
there
learn
somewhere
from
that
them.
it's more interesting. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, one of the things that the way that Renee and I connected when she came here to Woodlands for some sessions, some therapies a couple of years ago, is the original thing we were going to do with Inneressence is the retreats. At that time, Renee was living in Cyprus, and we had written out all the retreats and the things that we were going to do, and both the girls wrote out what they would like to contribute, because at that stage they were coming with you. They were still kids. And they wrote out what they would want to contribute with regard to that, and they had incredible insight. I think
and then COVID happened in 9 months.
Yeah, COVID hit us, and then we didn't.
And then everything fell to pieces. Yeah, so I left and I went through to Costa Rica.
No, but I think that was also to understand. I actually, no, never.
Yeah, so we want to revive that again, to start teaching children from a very young age, and that was basically to teach them how to do yoga, how to identify their chakras, how to understand themselves. If they're feeling down, if they're feeling depressed, there is a reason for it, and get help. What is the word? Yeah, get help,
support.
And support. It's okay,
Yeah, but I think we're battling with this movement of people that at this point now are having these traumatic experiences, or they're going through things at a faster pace. So, and it's also this big collective of, you need to go see a doctor and you need to get put onto tablets, which numb them, create them to be just zombies. And I'm just like, you know what, at any point in my life, I would rather work with all these other remedies. I actually work with Emma. Chantal knows her very, very much in that way, because she's she's turning 20, so she's leaving her teens, but she's a beautiful example of how the teens are just getting sort of cross messages at the moment, but they can still come back to their roots. They can get the understanding. They can understand that they don't have to go onto a tablet, and they can do certain exercises. I mean, they're just higher beings of light, in my opinion. But they've come in with the space of technological advancement. And so we just need to keep exposing them to the other options. As much as the technology is pushing them every day, get this app, do this, do that. If we can also get in that space and offer it to them, it doesn't necessarily only have to be an app. It's like really get into the universities and say to the kids, or even the high schools, let's do programs where we do a chakra a month, and we take it over 9 months. And basically you get to explore that little portal each month, and everything associated in that month will be about that portal of information, so that they get to have these hands-on tools, candles, crystals.
No.
Say that again?
I can help you.
I said we look forward to seeing all your portals of information, because you've got all of these amazing things already there at people's fingertips.
I did it all in the reset. I did it all in the COVID.
Yes, it's www.a.
I'm going to just share it quickly. Just hold on, let me put my glasses on.
As in A for A, V for vibrational, and then YOU.fun, because of course that's what it is. Have you got it on there? So everybody really do yourselves a favor. You want to dive into the world of chakras. Janine is the queen, and she has put all this beautiful information down.
Now you can see the character of Janine. It's beautiful. So your chakras, and what I love to go into that one, it takes you straight through.
Yeah.
So if you want to learn about your different energies or your chakras, like this is a heart chakra green. We always saw red. I always draw a red one, but it's not red. It's supposed to be green.
And there it tells you all the things, the phases of the moon, or the color, or the foods, or the ages,
central themes, the planet.
Yes, all the
children well-being. I love
but also,
that.
I haven't any of the e-courses on for the chakra dances yet. So there will still be a lot more of the e-courses coming on, because obviously I don't want to just connect just with the people in the Netherlands. I want to connect with South Africans, and I want to connect. So I've got a lot of that going on to the website this year. So
Beautiful.
Watch.
That's beautiful.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you so much.
Thank you for all the
And
beautiful
then
things.
I also just
Thank
want to say
you.
thank you to Woodlands Spa for having us here, and thank you, Janine and Chantal. I really appreciate all your time, and Woodlands Spa for giving us the opportunity to come to this amazing venue where it is really, you can tell more about. I think you need to discuss more about Woodlands.
The Woodlands Spa is here in the Cradle of Humankind. It is the most exquisite space. For the healing that we do here, the space holds it very well. Very natural. We've got beautiful bodies of water, green trees, and the therapies and things that they offer are just really above and beyond. We have some amazing signature frequencies where, for example, Barry does the reflex and the Reiki together. It's an incredible session. I also do something different in that I do the mentoring and the guiding and the coaching, but then also the bars, access bars, brain flow therapy. I use sound, I use color, I use cards. So my thing that I do here, obviously at Woodlands, is not just working with people's stories, but the energy surrounding these stories. We then work on the energy field as well, as we go on a deeper level. So Woodlands is incredible, and we're very grateful that they have allowed us to use their space. And we look forward to you coming, Janine, so that you can do some chakra dance classes. We just need dates.
I would
That's
love
what she
to.
said. Give me dates.
I
She's
would
ready.
love to.
Must do is if whoever's watching here, if there's anything you want us to sort of delve deeper into, leave a comment below, and then we will create a video or a talk around the subjects that they want to cover. But absolutely. And then we can then say, okay, fine, they want to delve deeper into a certain, maybe something's come up for them during this episode, and then we can delve deeper.
Yeah.
So thank you, because I know there's a lot to it, but I think we've just touched the surface.
Just scratched the surface. There's just so much.
So I think the key thing here is being aware, teaching the youngsters from young.
Teach yourself.
Teach yourself to learn how to listen to your body and use your natural resources. I agree with you. I'm so anti. Even my kids, when they had a headache, I used to go, no, go and drink water.
Massage your hand.
And so thank you
Yeah.
so much, Janine and Chantal. Thank you so much for your time. And I love it.
Thank you. Thank you for creating this space. It's been wonderful.
Yeah,
and I agree with you. More to come and more information, because there's loads still to discuss. So I'm so grateful for this space. Thank you.
So yeah, and next time they must invite their children, and let's get the children educated and learning about themselves.
Absolutely. And following our hearts more and playing more.
And that's it. We need to find our child, and I love the child within. And we don't often, we always were, like you said, we're worried about what our hair looks like, but it's not. It's just been ourselves. People love you for who you are, not what your hair looks like or whatever, and just being the child. Being present. So anyway, thank you so much, and thank you everybody for joining us, and hopefully you'll click and follow us, and we'll be sharing a lot of amazing stuff. Thank you so much. Thank you.